Hi, this is Jeremy Moskowitz, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can use PolicyPak Device Manager to enable and restrict USB sticks using your MDM service and PolicyPak. So how do you do that? So this machine is MDM enrolled. You could be enrolled into Intune or into Workspace ONE or to Citrix SEM, whatever you want. This is a good USB stick, one that I'm sanctioning and allowing, and for instance, maybe you want the style that PolicyPak can deliver, which is enable users, specific users, to use specifically sanctioned device types. So for instance, if this device was always encrypted, great, you can sanction this device type. Or you could say a particular user with a particular device and serial number. I've shown that in previous videos. This is particularly just how to use it with MDM. So first things first is that you may want to get that USB stick in hand, and then you can see in Device Manager, if you were to go to Properties here, what you'll do is you'll go to Details and go to the Device Instance Path. Device Instance Path has the vendor and the particular model and also the serial number embedded into it. So what we'll do is we'll copy this and let's go over to our MMC management station. This is my Azure and my Intune, which I'll get to in just a moment. But here is where I'm going to take that string and paste it in. And here's where I need the vendor ID. That's after the VEN underscore. I need that guy. And then I need the product ID, which is after prod underscore. I'll go ahead and take that. Boom, right there. There's the revision also. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to say any revision because I know that this particular USB stick is always encrypted. So what I'll do is then I'll go into my management station here, okay, and using a group policy object just for the sake of editing purposes, let me go ahead and create a new global settings policy here. I like raising the number of impressions for bad USB sticks. Okay, so I'm going to raise that up pretty high. And then I'm going to leave the rest the same. Show notifications for new devices and policy changes and so on. If you want to change the default messages with customized messages, you can do that too. But I'm not going to worry about that now. That's the first thing, just turning it on. That puts the smackdown on all USB sticks. Then I'm going to set a policy to open it up to something specific. So I want to allow users to use specific devices. And what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to take that vendor ID that I got earlier. That's JetFlash. I'll go ahead and copy and paste that in. The product ID that we got earlier, that's Transcend 32 gigabyte, this always encrypted drive by way of example. And then I'm going to keep the product revision just like this, okay? If you wanted to also use serial numbers, that's fine. You would paste that entire string in, okay? I'm not going to demo that here. All right. And then here is where you need to add a member by SID. By SID, how do you get the SID of a guy in Azure Active Directory? Well, we have an article on that. So for instance, here is the article, which is called How Do I Get Azure SIDs and Use Them with Item Level Targeting? So this only works for individual users, okay? This will not work at a group level. You can't, there is no such thing as an Azure group SID. There is such a thing as an Azure user SID, and you have to be able to get it. The easiest way to do it is to be logged on to the guy and get whoami/user. You can get that information. You can also do some additional magic if you want to with this PowerShell script, which can take a user, Azure ID and convert it over. The PowerShell script is, there we go, it's in there somewhere, but that's an advanced technique. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do the simple one here and go to whoami/all, get the guy's SID here. I'm going to take this SID from Azure. Whoops, I didn't get it. Let's do it again. Get it from Azure. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is go back to my item here, add member by SID. The name doesn't matter. You can call him Fred Flintstone, doesn't matter. And then that's the guy's SID. That's what matters. So what I'm going to say is let this person have, I'm going to just use, say, read access. Okay, I'm going to give them USB stick vendor type that I authorize, okay? So once I go ahead and click OK here, and click Next, and that's it. We're done. We've done what we need to do. The next thing is to right-click, export this policy as XML here. So I'm going to export collections as XML. I'm then going to create a new folder here called exp3. And I'll call this ppdm export 1. All right. So now that I've got it exported, the next step is to use our PolicyPak exporter tool. Exporter tool is automatically installed when you install the MMC snap-in. Let's go ahead and create a new MSI installer. We'll add an existing file here. We'll then pick our exp3, our exporter. Okay. Boom. And there it is, Device Manager on the computer side. And it's got all those all the things we said, the global policy and the unique individual policy there as well. We'll go ahead and call this PPDM123, all right? And we are done. I'll go ahead and call it PPDM123 MSI. Now that that's done, let's go into Intune. Now remember, in order to make this go, there's three things that need to happen. The license files need to be delivered, the client-side extension needs to be delivered, and now what we're going to do is we're going to add in this application, which is a line of business app. We'll go ahead and click select here. Select our app package file from the desktop that we created earlier. That's on desktop, EXP3. There's our MSI. All right. And go ahead, and this is on the, device side. Very good. Go ahead and click next. Oh, we need to give it a name. So call us PP Company 1. There we go. All right. Any other things we need to do? Nope. Okay. So now what we'll do is we're going to add this to, I'm going to just keep this simple and add it to all devices. You can target it based upon device group. That's totally fine. Go ahead and click next and go ahead and click create. All right. So I've locked and loaded this in. If I go back to apps, remember the three things that need to make it go. Let me go back to Windows apps here. The three things that need to make it go are the license file, the client-side extension, and the final upload, here we are, of our settings. And that's automatically getting refreshed as we speak. All right. So with that in mind, we'll go back over to our machine. We'll go ahead and click here, and we'll go to info, and let's give this the little synchronize that we need to make this work. All right, now that this is done, and remember, this can take a variable amount of time depending on how fast or slow your MDM service wants to go. But let's go ahead and close all this out. I'm going to take out the good USB stick. Let's put in an evil USB stick and see what happens. And there we go. So it's being managed by PolicyPak Device Manager. Read, write, and execute. No, no, no. Why is that? Well, it's different than what we said. So this person can't do a thing. So if we were to go over here and take a look what's on this interesting USB stick, well, we don't know. Gosh, there's all sorts of weird stuff on here. Let's double click it and see what happens. Gosh, well, you can't do that. Let's try to copy this configuration file over to the desktop. No, we can't do that. If we were to try to copy something in, well, we can't do that. Well, we've blocked it. We've blocked that USB stick. Let's go ahead and put in the good USB stick, the one that meets the correct vendor criteria. And whoop, there we go. We can see that we are being managed. We've got read access, which is exactly what we said we wanted. And if we were to try to read something off of here, so go ahead and double click this guy, and what happens? Well, you've got read access, so you're good to go. But if you try to write something from the desktop over to this USB stick, well, you've blocked it. This is not something that you can do inside of Intune or other MDM services. This is an add-on superpower only available to you with PolicyPak. So there you go. I hope this helps you out. Looking forward to getting you started with PolicyPak and your MDM service real soon. Thanks so much.